We have a lot of you that ask for inshore boats, smaller boats, and today we're going to make that happen. There's a company called BlueZones that we hadn't heard of before, brand new company. I got my friend Gilbert Suarez right here.
How you doing, Alan?
Pretty good, man, pretty good. Good to see you as always, friends of his dad as well. So I've been meaning to ask you about this and to learn about it. Thankfully, we finally were able to do it here in Crandon Park. Give us a background on BlueZones.
So this is a 16-foot flats boat mini skiff, center console technical polling skiff, powered by a Yamaha 90 outboard. It's a very unique boat because of the deep V design. This boat carries through water like no problem. If it's 1 foot seas, it cuts right through with no problem, and it gets into the shallow water very easy.
Yeah.
With a 7-inch draft.
Nice.
So hardly any draft. Everything is made in-house, all the way from the upholstery to the acrylic panel on the dash to the sea deck. Pretty much just a great technical pulling skiff for getting out to the flats and the keys.
Yeah.
Out here,
7-inch draft is nice. What's the weight on this?
The dry weight, no motor, very dry rig is about 650 pounds.
650 pounds? Okay. How much fuel is hold?
25 gallons.
25 gallons. All right. So I've been on quite a few inshore boats, even though we don't show it that often on center consoles only. It just doesn't come around as much. But it's definitely nice to have something that can cut across the bay, especially here in Miami, and you don't get absolutely destroyed. I've been on some that great for the shallows, great for behind the mangroves, tucked in the calm stuff. But if you try to cross any sort of body of water, even with a 6-inch chop, you know, you get destroyed. So.
Correct.
It'll be nice to see what this thing can do, put it out in the water. We're gonna drop it in here, get the drone up in the air, and learn a little bit more as we make our way through the BlueZone 16. So let's make that happen. Let's go ahead and drop it in.
Let's do it.
So the first feeling is very nice, quite responsive. The weight feels right. There's a breeze cutting through here that's pretty decent, but you know, it holds its own. You're not getting just flopped around all over the place. It's not too light. So if it is getting that 7-inch draft, that's pretty respectable for, you know, the majority of inshore anglers. I know some people like to get a little bit skinnier, but this is exactly what I mentioned earlier. Kind of a versatile platform, something that'll allow you to run long distances, maybe even hit a sandbar, but obviously get you into shallow enough water to do some serious inshore fishing. Okay, so brought Gilbert on board. We want him to walk through. He obviously is the expert on this boat, so you know, we want to learn as much as possible. So do the viewers. Let's start at the bow and work our way back.
So at the bow, we have a casting platform, able to cast on any flat. It's very sturdy, so if you ever come up here, you're ready to cast, you're fly fishing, whatever, it's very stable in the boat.
Yeah.
The boat hardly ever rocks. And then working our way back, every boat comes standard with an Engel 35 cooler, as well as diamond stitch upholstery on all boats, which is standard, and sea deck is optional.
Yeah, it's nice. I didn't even notice this was a removable cooler. I personally like that idea. Let me try to turn the boat around. You know, if you want to remove that cooler, maybe you don't need it, you have a little extra space, but at the same time, you can get that cooler at home, drop it in the truck, load it, unload it, and it's not attached to the boat where it's a little bit more difficult. You got to bring drinks out one by one, and it's just more annoying. So that's a good little detail, and it looks custom built in from here.
Correct.
I didn't even notice it.
The cooler was custom built to the console so that it would fit perfectly within, so that when you walk on the side of it, you wouldn't have to worry about hitting the gunnel or the console at all.
Yeah. Also notice too, like you said, it is a sturdy boat. You know, we got
sturdy.
2 people. There's, you know, certain inshore boats that rub rail will be touching the water at this point. Even if you work your way this way, let's see how far it leans. So we still got room, and we got quite a bit of weight all on the port side of the thing. So really nice, very sturdy. And again, it's just enough weight to not get manhandled by the wind. I got a guy here spinning around in all kinds of different directions, so we want to stay away from him. But yeah, go ahead. We got the fuel fill right there on the port side as well.
Correct.
I believe you said we had the fuel tank 25 gallons?
Correct. The fuel tank is standard 25 gallons, all aluminum, and the fuel fill is standard on the port side on all boats.
Okay, and underneath that casting platform up on the bow,
that would be
what do we got there?
Anchor, rod, and chain, and pretty much whatever you want to put. There's plenty of storage in the boat.
Gilbert, just for the viewers, what's the goal when you guys decided to embark on this journey here with BlueZones? What are you aiming for here with this model?
So with this model, it's a very good quality, affordable boat to get the avid flats water fishermen on the water. If they want to take their family to the sandbar, if they want to go fishing, this is the great boat for it. There's absolutely no corners cut when this boat is in production. It is assembled and rigged to the max potential. We strive to make the boat as comfortable and as affordable as possible, so that even if you want to get on the water but you don't want to spend $80,000 on a new boat, you can get a brand new BlueZone 16 for half the price. You get family, friends, go out to the flats, go out to Flamingo, just get it done.
Gotcha. Yeah, I mean, obviously in today's climate, like I mentioned earlier, it's not common to see anything affordable. You know, so to be able to get on the water with something with the quality that I'm looking at here at that price point is amazing. And one thing I've always said with newer companies, smaller companies, you know, a lot of these guys come from boating experience, which I know Gilbert's been in the industry for a long time. Correct. So is his family. It's not necessarily that you're coming into a brand or a company that doesn't know what they're doing. They have something to prove, and that's what, you know, we appreciate, and that's why we like working with the smaller companies. It's not a big brand that's kind of lost its ideology, and there's some big brands that still hold on to that very well, but you know, some don't. So it's good to see a smaller brand looking to put out quality of product. Word of mouth advertising is huge, so you got to impress people. The service has to be there. Correct. And that's what you're going to get with BlueZones. And another thing, where'd the name come from?
The name came from Blue Zone is an area where people live the longest. So the ideology behind it is...
Wasn't that a TV show or something on Netflix with that?
I think it was.
I think I saw it.
The ideology behind it is if you buy a Blue Zone, you'll live your happiest life and you'll live forever.
That's awesome. I always like to learn about, you know, that background. What created a brand? You know, with Center Consoles only, we had an idea behind the brand, and every business has the same thing. So very cool. I think I did see that Netflix special. Very interesting, and a great idea to put behind this. It's the whole thing. Getting out on the water on a day like this with your family, whether you're, you know, fishing with a buddy or you're out here with your kids. This is what it's all about. Everything changes, at least for people that enjoy the water like we do, when you're floating in it or around it. I like to eat dinner next to the water. I like to do anything I can near the water. So if you can get into it on a boat like this at a price point like that, I think you guys you're starting off on the right foot. You can get a couple people here, no problem, and a third person there. So why don't we talk about the console a little bit? What do you got going here?
So the console, you can configure it for a 6 to 7 inch MFD display, depending on what company you want to use. It's very accessible, so if you're behind the wheel and you want to play with the throttles, play with your gauges, very high, not too high, but not too low for accessibility. Trim tab switches are placed in the center for, you know, if you're grabbing the steering wheel, if you're grabbing the throttle, very easy to handle. Yeah. As well as the switch panel, custom acrylic switch panel that comes standard on all BlueZones with bilge, nav lights, courtesy lights, accessory, as well as the acrylic hatch door to get to your batteries, all your electronic battery switches, etc.
Cool. Yeah, and it looks like the height, you know, is just right. You can sit here and run the boat perfectly comfortable. And then, you know, at least my height, I'm not the tallest guy in the world, but it's nice and comfortable to run it here as well. So looks like you got all that right, nice and simple, you know, just the way I like it. Correct. Jumping over to the starboard side, you got your push pull right here. Correct. This looks like a retractable holding mechanism.
Comes on these mounts, and right there you'll have the pull ready to access, to go ready. Go ahead and push pull through any flat that you want to go through.
Then you can pop these out of the way if you're not going to run it.
Correct. And then once you're ready to put it away, super easy. You don't need another guy to help you line it up. All you do is line it up here, put it in, slide it. That's it. She's ready to go.
Sweet. Again, you got nice upholstery coming back here into the Helm seat. Do we have any storage or anything underneath here?
Yeah, so if you flip up this backrest here, you have more room for casting if you want to come up here and cast, especially when you want to get up on the pulling platform. Very easy to access. And in here we have plenty of more storage located for life jackets, you know, whatever else you want to put in there.
Storage is always good.
Correct. So back here we have 2 hatches that can be plumbed as a live well. You can put, you know, whatever size live bait you want inside. This side, port side, as well as the starboard side. Go ahead and open those up, very easy to access.
Nice.
And then when you're ready to get up on the pulling platform, very easy to access, super easy to stand, very stable.
Oh my gosh, I'm so tempted to just hit the gas. No, just kidding. I mean, that's the best seat in the house. If you're pulling off that in the flats, you know, in Flamingo or any sort of inshore area, there's really no experience like it. I haven't done it a ton in my life, but I really want to be able to do more of it. That's a great spot. I love this adjustable backrest. You can get out of the way when you need it. Again, you got all the essentials here that you need. Rod holders back there as well. Again, everything you need to be able to hunt fish, like you said, and at a price point that we really haven't seen in a very long time. You guys have done a great job. And this was hole number 1, right?
Correct, hole number 1. This is hole number 1.
All right, so yeah, again, just getting started for hole number 1. You know, this is quite good for a first hole. I mean, you always have things that you need to improve upon, and you learn and improve. But for hole number 1, I don't see anything really that I would change. So
thank you.
Definitely a good start. You guys have put some effort into it for sure. But let's run this thing around and see what it can do.
Let's do it.
We have the 90 horsepower Yamaha. We're gonna jump up on plane, and that was quick and easy. This is a pretty hefty inshore chop. And we're not slapping, we're not banging, the boat feels solid. That's exactly what you look for in something like this. If you're gonna run, you know, a decent distance, usually on a day like this, I'm not going out.
Yeah.
Inshore fishing or offshore fishing. But it's a great day to be able to test the Blue Zone and see what the capabilities are.
The trip tab's already the tab down right now.
I hate using trim tab. I won't use it unless I absolutely have to. If the boat, you know, the weight distribution's not there and you got to move the boat around. But I try not to use it, and I think it shows a lot about what a boat can do, obviously. One thing I've learned about jumping on so many of these boats and reviewing them is that the chine underneath here is probably the most important thing in the hull bottom design when it comes to delivering a dry riding hull, more than the bow flare, which is usually the most popular, spoken about by many. That chine right there, elevated, you'll notice it different on inshore boats, offshore boats the same, but it'll allow that water to break further back and spraying it outwards, and any water you do get in any of that chop that you hit will deflect off that chine in this in particular design and throw it downward. We did experience a very dry ride on this boat, and when you notice any of those larger boats, they'll have that chine different. They'll have it lower to the water line, higher up, you know, raking up to the bow. So every little detail counts when you're designing a boat like this. And that's one of the things I noticed with this boat. And I think it attributes to that dry ride that we experienced, like I said, out there on the BlueZones 16 today. So there you have it. That was our sea trial on the BlueZones 16. We got it out of the water. And one of the nice things, I mean, one of the many nice things about these inshore boats or how quick and easy it is to launch it, pick it back up, get it out of the water. You can do it with one person. We just had another gentleman on another flats boat just go out on his own. You know, the barrier of entry to get into these boats is way less, comparatively speaking. And then the economy on fuel and just the ease of overall maintenance and use is way up there when it comes to a boat of this size. And they're a lot of fun. You can fish the inshore waters. You can take your family to the sandbar, get in real shallow. So the sky's the limit on what you can do with it. Gil, congratulations once again.
Thank you very much.
Where can they reach out to you if they want some more information? Once again,
you can reach out to our social media at BlueZone Boatworks, or you can go to our website, bluezoneboatworks.com, and it'll take you to a page where we have all of our spec sheets and our contact info.
Again, guys, 17K gets you fiberglass only on a trailer for you to rig on your own with power electronics, or you can get one decked out just like this one for just $42,000. So very impressive. Wish you guys a lot of luck.
Thank you.
Thank you guys again. My name is Alan with Center Consoles Only. Reach out with any information. We'll be glad to elaborate on our experience on the BlueZone 16, and we look forward to doing the next one. Thanks, guys.